My internet says it's stable.
All right, we're super excited. So what do we want to do? Send some intros in the chat while we get everybody in. Hassan, make sure to get people in as soon as possible. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, don't do this.
Mute as you come in. Thank you. We're going.
Everything is perfect. Amazing.
All right.
I'm so excited to see everybody here. So we're just going to be going through all of the, going to go stream on Facebook.
Something's going on. I think it's them.
Yeah, you hear our music?
Because my internet shows full steam ahead, Batman.
Okay.
Full steam ahead, Batman. I don't know who, there's a couple of people coming in, I can hear you. But if something's going on, you may hear music. We're getting started in just a few minutes here. We're just getting through the tech of streaming and all of that fun stuff. And there we go. Let's make sure we are here. Yeah, the music only lasts for so long.
All right.
So that is maybe for later on. If you guys ever want to know, Ryan Angelo is an incredible person and light worker in the world. All right, we are here. I am excited. We need to figure out where that was.
It's okay. Just go.
Well, I was going to do it to music.
It's cool. You can do it without music.
Okay, perfect. All right, we are so excited for you guys to be here. Welcome to, who's ready to learn how to get 3 to 5 high-paying soul clients into your business. That's what today is all about. And who is this for? This is for coaches, for transformation, right? Those who have known deep inside from a very young age that you were here for more, and where society has told you that you're crazy and don't fit in. Can you switch the view for me? Thank you. We're here to tell you that that's the whole point. This is your purpose. And with each client you serve, you're honored that you get to be the much needed light in this world. Quantum impact and evolution is inevitable for us. It's why we're coaches. It's why we're entrepreneurs. It's why making an impact is what we're here for. It's what we live for. We defy logic and we refuse mediocrity. And we believe that the energetics and the alignment that creates the groundwork through which we run our business and we create our strategies and ultimately to be able to change the world. Because when you're aligned with your gifts, you show up authentic, you show up self-expressed, and you show up in your power. So let's get on the edge of our seat. Let's get ready to be unleashed into your purpose so you can build the wealth and abundance and make the contribution that you were made for. Coaches are the driving force of transformation in the world, and we always will be. We are the quantum impact that this world so desperately needs. Now, if you just got goosebumps, you are in the right place. Can I get an amen? We are the driving force of coaches for transformation in the world, right? It's us as coaches and in a world that is much needed. So if you don't know who we are, our names are Chad and Holly, and I'm going to let you take over for a minute because I need to.
Yeah, so I just want to get really into who everybody is. We got some chats going in here. I just want to really, we're going to break down some things that are going to go really deep into really expanding your message and your purpose in the world. And so one of the things I need to do, I need to get a little bit of confirmation that everybody's going to only use this information for good. So what I need is in the chat, I need everybody. So we have 20, 30, we have 31 people here. I need confirmation that you will only use the information that we're going to be teaching, we're going to be breaking down here for good. So I need in the chat. So we need, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 people so far. That's, we need 27 more other people.
You're going for
everyone.
So we believe in the energetics is the driving force of how we run business, how will you do trainings, and same for you, right? So if this is the first time, maybe this is one of your first times of going to one of our trainings, maybe you've been to one of our trainings before. We do things a little bit differently. We like not just us talking, but really like all of you guys to the participation and bringing this energy up and making this a space where this is really an experience for you, that you get to discover things, that you get to really see what's possible, and then start creating that in your own business and for your clients, right? So we're going to be here today for about an hour or so. That's what we're shooting for. So make sure you have pen, paper, water, coffee, tea, kombucha, whatever your drink of choice is. Make sure you have a drink. Let's get on the edge of our seat and
1 to 5 hours approximately.
1 to 5 hours. I am not standing for 5 hours straight today. It's not in the books.
Yeah, we've had 5-hour trainings. This is not it.
Totally have. That's something I get to prep for, and that is once a day. So.
All right. So what I want to bring you back to, so 4 years ago, I was coming back from going out with friends for my birthday, and I came into the room, into our bedroom, and I remember the person that I love more than anything convulsing, full on seizures, like, and had been what it looked like for a while. And if anybody knows that, like, seizures, the longer they happen, the more likely somebody could actually die, right? Because of the breath and or not having breathing. So I'm dumping CBD down her throat. I'm dumping electrolytes down her throat. I'm giving her mouth to mouth, so that's messy. And I remember when she came out of it, she said something that completely, my stomach just dropped. She said, "Who are you? Where are you?" And basically, like, who am I? She didn't know any of that stuff. She didn't know she had kids. She didn't know that she had our business. She didn't know anything that we had going on. And after that, we basically spent every dime, everything of energy of ours to like figure out what was going on. Why did this happen? And how can we get her out of this? And then the one upside that happened when you talk about, like, the kind of like the upside of it, of being able to come from like completely nothing.
You're talking, like, I truly believe every single thing happens for our good, right? And I know that as coaches, we all have this story of why we do what we do, right? And so during that time in the healing, we went like the functional, holistic. We're very, excuse me. I don't know why or how, or maybe do not disturb. Can you take over for a minute? And I'm just going to put it on do not disturb so that doesn't happen.
Yeah. So who here believes that everything happens for us and not to us? I'm just looking at like who like is on down with that like mindset. And the thing is like, and then the other question here is like, who's gone through some serious shit in your life and you believe that like that happened for you, so now you can get that message out to the world, and then now that message is going to allow you to transform people's lives.
Yeah. So during that time, as I was healing, we did something called champion training. It was like what we called it. And it was starting to heal my brain in multiple different modalities. And as I started doing this healing, I started getting back into work, and I started like the support from social media at that time. Like people were messaging me like of how I've impacted their life. And I've never like cried sharing this story. I don't know why I'm getting all emotional now, but just the support that I had online at that time from people. And so I started diving in more and really getting into our business and getting back into like, well, what is it that we do and what were we doing and how do I get back to doing that? Because apparently it was really good. Excuse me. And I got to see, this is like the gold in this, is that I really got to see what worked in our business and what was working for our clients at that time, but also like what wasn't working. And I didn't have any of those stories, right? When we go through our life and we create stories, like even right now, I'm creating this story in my brain and like I'm crying. That's kind of how but it's good tears. But as we create these stories, it can sometimes block our view, or we start inadvertently, very subconsciously get blind spots to different things. Well, I didn't have any memories, so I didn't have any stories. So I got to see things really present of like the what so and just what was and everything. So I got to see what worked and what didn't work and what was needed. And when this client did this, this, and this, then this happened. But if a client missed this part, then this didn't happen. And then they didn't get the results. So we were able to create this entire model based on this time of me healing and like really diving back into our business of what worked and what didn't work and be able to really structure it. I think it's pretty incredible how powerful our brains are when it's at nothing. You know, since then we talk about clearing, and we even have like a clearing modality and technique that's been birthed from all of this. And it's like, when you can come from this space of nothing, then that's really where everything can get created. So I think it was a really powerful space to be in, of like coming from nothing. And then as all of those memories came back, I got to go through a quite adventurous trauma healing. I don't know if you guys have gone through the spiritual awakening and trauma healing journey. I say it lightly, but it's nothing to be lightly about. It is a journey that you go through. So I got to go through, you know, at every age of every memory that started coming back healing. So it really was a really powerful experience, and it's led to why we work with coaches and how we work with coaches and what we do for them in that regard.
So who wants to see the model that we came up with that not only has now allowed us to have, you know, $120,000 months, but have had, you know, we had one client, she came in and she did 138K in 6 weeks. She did, we had another client do $74,000 in another week. We had a client that did, you know, came in and did 20,000, I think the 5,000 and 8,000, something like that, in the period of being with us, and then went on right after they, you know, completed with us, went on to do $80,000 a month. And then we had somebody else, and then if you're sitting here going like, well, you know, I'm just kind of getting started. We also had somebody named Ryan. He came in and didn't even know online coaching was a thing, which was really funny to me. But he actually went from 0 to doing $17,000 in his first 40 days online, and then also was able to go on for the whole year, do 5 figures a month with no funnels, no really team, no nothing, right? And so who's interested in seeing the model? We got a couple people.
The model, I was just scrolling up to see, I'm just so honored. Some of those tears that I was crying, I'm like, I think they're even just tears of gratitude. I don't know if it's grief, but just really gratitude. And I know that we all have this incredible story to share. So awesome. Yes, me.
And if you're on the live in the group and you want to actually be on, you know, on Zoom, so you can have a front row seat, just come look around. Yeah. All right. So we're going to share the screen and show you guys the model that we use for our clients and for ourselves in really creating something pretty freaking amazing. So
yeah, so not only were these people like getting really good results, but they were crushing it in life too. Like Kelly, she not only, you know, I don't know, did you share Kelly's? That she was traveling.
I didn't miss that one.
So Kelly, when she started working with us, she was doing pretty good. However, like she was completely overwhelmed and overworked. I think she was working like 80 or 90 hours a week, and she couldn't fathom how she could bring in more clients because she had so many clients that she now didn't have any life. So Kelly she actually is finishing up. There's like this 5-day walk. I believe it's in Spain. I can't remember, it begins with the C, but this girl has taken more like trips and vacations, and she's now doing around 50K plus months by implementing that.
Yeah, you said like pretty good. Like, so she started off, she was doing about $8,000 to $15,000 a month, which is great, but she's almost working 80, 90 hours a week and having no life to herself, was completely burnt out when she came to us, and was like almost like if I had to guess, just like, should I shut this down? And I'm curious if like anybody here has like thought about shutting down your coaching because like, holy crap, like how am I supposed to like make this all work?
How is this sustainable?
How is this sustainable? Yeah. And obviously you have a purpose.
Yeah. So as we were healing, I kind of want to go back as he's drawing this out. Like as we were healing, we were going at the mind, body, soul level. We went to this event, and the guy, we sponsored this event, and the event was by Steve Farber. And the main quote, like the main thing that we got from this event was he said something so profound, and it was, do what you love in the service of people who love what you do. And it completely transformed the way that we viewed everything. And we really got that the reason I was burning out and the seizures and everything that was happening was a few different things, right? One was complete burnout. One was I was completely not in alignment at all with what I was here to do. And that was like a huge wake up call of like, hey, wake up. So we got to get really clear on what did this life look like that we were creating? What was it? At that event, we met some of our clients, which were coaches. We weren't just working with coaches at the time, though. We were working with the mantra, yes, do what you love in the service of people who love what you do. It has been like, if I had to say the secret to a fulfilled, successful business has been to do what you love in the service of people who love what you do. 1,000,000%. And we really took that. And we were meeting up with some of our clients who were coaches, but we had clients who were like knee pain doctors and hair restoration clinics, construction workers, like we had someone in England who did additions on their houses, and all great people just on extensions. Yes. Projects I just was not like, it was boring. And I had created this job for myself. And really, like, my heart has always been transformation. And, I actually have roots back in 2010 where I started in belief therapy. And, I felt this call that God was calling me into this, I don't know how to put it, just this life of healing. And I started going down that path. So I knew that my path has always been healing, freedom, and transformation in the world. I've had those 3 words very clear to me for over 30 years. So here I was having an agency doing things for knee pain doctors. Like there wasn't an alignment there, right? And so when you're creating this, ultimately what we're all out to really create is this life of abundance, right? Having this life of freedom, this impact, this profit. And how do we do that? When you're online, it's going to take a few things, right? So it's being able to attract people. How do we attract people? Well, we call it impact messaging. And impact messaging, part of this is do what you love in the service of people who love what you do, right? Breaking that down, meaning you work with your soul clients and you do what you love, and that makes a huge impact with them. Yeah. So it does slow down my growth. I learned to trust the process and the one who created it. I'm seeking support and staying aligned and impacting others. Yes. Yeah, it's so big, man. If you have a calling in this life, and I truly believe if you're on this webinar, you've had some sort of calling. When you don't listen to that calling or like, yeah, or I'll do it later, or I got to do this, or I'll do like it will start hurting. It'll come up.
Well, let's check in actually. Like, who here has been like called from like a young age that you knew you're here to really make a huge transformation in the world? And then the other side of it is maybe you felt lost, right? There's a lot of us that, like, I know for me, like, I didn't feel like at a young age that I was going to do anything. I just felt lost. I didn't know what I didn't know what my purpose was. And so I just wandered around and I never felt like I fit in. Like, have you ever not felt like you fit in places? The truth is you don't feel like you fit in anywhere because you weren't meant to. You're actually meant to lead. You're meant to lead situations and not actually, fit in. Because when you fit in, like, if you ever notice, like, if you try to fit in somewhere, you disappear. You're meant to stand out.
Yes. Oof, I have angel bumps all over. So that's what impact messaging is all about, is you're speaking to your soul clients so directly. It's like the unspoken truths where they know and they feel like yes, this person gets me, right? How do you create your messaging? Well, you really just show up authentically, right? That's really, it's like, know who you work with, you do what you love in the service of people who love what you do. And you create your impact messaging around that. From there, you start creating this community of people. Now you know who these people are that you love, have money to be able to pay you. You're here for a greater mission. So you start sharing what that mission is. At the beginning of this, we shared what our mission was. Like we believe that coaches are the driving force of transformation in a world that desperately needs it right now. Our world is crazy and coaches are rising up for a reason. Coaches are necessary, right? So I am a stand for coaches. So that's what we're here and what we believe in and how we speak to our soul clients. So you get to create and come from this space of your heart and your purpose and share that. And that's really your impact messaging, and start bringing people into a community and start building relationships with them and getting to know them and what it is that they're up to in the world by creating really incredible content. So we're going to kind of not rush through, but go through very quickly some of these in the model. We just want to give you the whole model and we'll make some stops at some of them as well. Is everything okay?
Yep, just you have the link, right? Asan, you're good. So there's some of you that maybe can't stay the whole thing, or you just are like, holy crap, I need you now. Astan's going to drop a link in the chat if you want to jump on a call with our clarity coach, Nicole, and really see, so if you want to jump on with our clarity coach and really get clear on what your vision is and what is your messaging, who are the people that you're meant to be making this impact with, maybe, and really like getting this impact messaging down, because if you're not clear on who you work with and that messaging to attract them, it's not going to create consistency. And so if you want to book this call and really see if we can support you in this, go ahead, book that call now. And then we're going to just, like I said, Holly said, we're going to jump through this. It's like community, really building this community and then creating the content. A lot of you are in Coaches for Transformation. That's our community. If you're not in there yet, you definitely want to be. It's amazing. And then the content, like really creating content, is messaging in action. It's how to really make this impact and difference through your content, how to structure it in a way that you're always being able to come up with new content. You're and it's like impactful content. I said it it was interesting. I was interviewing a potential client. I was doing the call and they said, oh, I don't think I'll be able to, make an impact in my marketing. And I'm like, no, that's actually what we do. Like, you want to be able to create. This is how we feel confident. This is going into the next area, is like, you can feel confident charging, like we in the messaging here is high paying soul clients. What high paying soul clients, how you can feel confident about being high, like charging those high paying prices, is that you are making such an impact for free. This right now, everybody on here, is this valuable? I'm just check in, like, is this training valuable? Is telling you, going through this process, like, valuable to you? And we're just getting started. We're just scratching this topic, but like by the end, like, I want this to be so valuable that you would have paid money for it, right? And that's what we're out for in all of our content, is that our free stuff is so valuable that you would pay money for, but we don't charge for it. You just have access to it, right? And then if you want the support and the guidance to be brought through this process and actually hold like all the things.
All the things. We have a lot of support in our program. That is
a lot of support.
1,000,000% accurate. So you're setting up your attraction process, having your messaging clear, creating this community of people. You're creating content that's really resonating with your soul clients, with your people. From there, let's talk about the enrollment process. We've been doing this for years now. So when we say we've done all of the models, let me tell you, we have done all the models. So what we really found, what really works the best is having an evergreen transformational experience for your clients, right? So we are not, well, let me just share with you. When we first started our program, we sold a course, right? So that's what you hear, go have a course and it'll take up all your time. So we sold a course and we upsold one-on-one coaching after the course. So that was the first model that we really used as coaches, like in our coaching.
Yeah. And I'm curious, who's ever here bought a course and then you're like, you might check into it once and it never ever go back to it ever again, because there's no support, there's no accountability, there's no like really guidance through the process.
Yeah. So it's really equivalent to having like a low ticket kind of thing. And then upsell into one-on-one. I feel like a lot of people talk about all these upsells and you have to have this like
value ladder,
lower ticket course, and then we'll upsell them. And then, yeah. So what happened is exactly, people did not go through the course. It wasn't giving the impact that we wanted. Sure, we got some one-on-one clients. And then as we all know, you can only handle so many one-on-ones. But we were really out for more of a transformation than just passing on, here's your login information, peace out, best of luck to you. Unless you want help, then you have to pay more. Like it wasn't aligned. It didn't work. It didn't feel good. Right. So then we went into the group model. Right. And so we had a group model and it was a 90-day program, and we launched our program every 90 days. So meaning we had a program, we were going group. We could have all these people in it. We weren't going to cap out. We weren't going to burn out. It was going to be great. This is going to be great. Great. First launch. Cool. We only launched every 90 days. So that means every 90 days were the only times we could get clients. Or if people wanted to get in sooner, they could pay or put a deposit. But then by the time that it went, they didn't have the same like zest and excitement and like ready to go-ness as if we could have just gotten them straight into the program.
Yeah. Who's ever like somebody's like got started and you're in like, if you're doing this type of model and you're like, maybe if you're willing to, or been in a program where you're like, oh, it doesn't get started to October 7th. And then by the time October 7th, like your whole freaking life changed and you're not even the same person you were when you signed up for this program. You're like, oh crap, like this isn't even for me anymore.
An alternative is, well, maybe you can run different groups at the same time.
7 groups.
So then you have like, yeah. And this is what Kelly was doing at first, was she was running different groups. So then what starts happening is your freedom starts going out and you're doing all of the things and you're trying to keep track of all of the groups and the logistics behind trying to keep track of the groups in itself, never mind holding the energy to be able to have this expansive space for your clients, is absolutely, yes, so overwhelming, absolutely overwhelming. It did not work. We had to figure out something else because it wasn't working.
Yeah. So what we came up with was the evergreen transformational experience. What the evergreen transformational experience is this. And you can kind of maybe write down little notes on like where you are and how you deliver your thing. One is, can you handle a bunch of clients? So if you had 5 or 10 clients come in this week, could you handle it? Sorry if you didn't hear Beyonce say, I'm not sure if we're okay. So and for the cinematic we got to do that. All right. So then you have so that's the thing. Can you handle the clients, right? The next thing is, can they get started right away? Are they waiting forever for you to get started? The next thing is when you like, are you getting the energy exchange? A lot of times people you're offering services and you're worth a lot more, right? You know that for as much energy you put out in serving your clients, you're not getting what you're worth. So that's the next one. So people, what's the next?
I think you got them all.
I got all, got them
Yeah.
all. If
All right.
anything else comes up,
I'm sure you'll let us know. You're amazing.
thanks.
So let's talk about what a trend. So you got all of the ones that have. So let's talk about the evergreen transformational experience.
Yeah.
What that entails.
So it's something that you can enroll in at any time. So with our program, what we do is like, if you say I'm in, right? Like you're like, high five, I'm in, let's go. Like you're
We're
starting.
like, let's go
Like, when do I get started?
right now. Let's go.
Yeah, we get you your login and and then you show up to the call at 3:00. We've had people do that. We've had
We have
clients
call at 4:30. So you
4:30.
let us know.
Right? Like you're in, right? And then so we get you all the events and all the support calls in your calendar. We get you your login and you're like off to the races. We don't have to wait around.
Get you into our community and the whole
Yep.
thing, right? So having a process and a structure, I think, is really important for all of your clients. Like, so your evergreen program, it can handle as many people as possible. So if we were on here and, you know, let's
Everybody
say
just decides once
all
again.
y'all were like, let's go. You know, like the quantum impact family is amazing. It'd be okay. Like,
Yeah.
we could handle it.
We can figure it out.
So that's probably like, well, 31. All right, yeah, we totally could handle that.
Yeah,
That feels good. That feels good.
let's go.
To like actually say we could handle that.
Because there was a time.
There's a time.
So, and then the other thing is like we've invested probably $100,000 into our education. We've now, for what is this, 4 years of like working with clients and getting great results for them, and then paying attention to what works and what doesn't work, and then like taking this out of the program and taking this and putting this into the program and adding this and adding this.
What people really need. It's been able to build a really robust program, right? And we're not, and like truly, because we have experts, and the reason we're sharing this is you don't have to create this container that lasts every 10 weeks and you have to go think of something else. So
Oh God.
Oh, and then I have to go think of this container and like, what's the name of this? And then I go sit on a mountaintop or on the beach for days until I get this download of like my next container. It starts getting exhausting. It's like when you just have this program and this is what it is, and you can continue to invest and optimize and see what the challenges have been and where are the gaps. Okay, now we get to bring this in. So we're going to continue with the model throughout this, and some things that I'm just really excited. So I love, we're all about clearing, and again, going back to that space of nothing. So what are some best techniques to be able to clear? So we've gone through and we've gotten certified and gotten our education. And so when you can have a transformational experience that you like are really focused on, and you can continue to grow it, and you can continue to add more value to it, and you can continue to make this deep transformation with people, as well as be able to like grow deep and wide, is really what I'm saying is what a transformational experience will allow.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that we kind of like I left out at the first explaining of what like doesn't work, is this constant launch model. Like, so we had a situation where we were launching every month in our program. Well, first it was every 3 months, and then we tweaked it to every month, and then we got COVID. And then boom, there goes a whole month of our work, right? And so that is not fun. And sometimes it might be a little bit of like that at the beginning, but we want you to get to where it's truly evergreen, right? Where you can enroll people. You have marketing that's working all the time, that's evergreen, all the things, right? And sometimes it's a step. So
not sometimes, most of the time.
Most of the time, it's a stepping point.
These are all steps that you're taking, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at the big picture, starting from there, and then building backwards, and what that experience really is for your clients. What can you bring to them that's not going to put in a bunch of work for you at the same time, but still brings that transformation.
Yep. So if you want support creating this evergreen transformational experience, like Eston's going to drop the link down in the comments. So Eston, drop that link, jump on a call with Nicole, really see if this is a good fit, see if we can support you. Like there's nothing to sell. She doesn't sell, like there's no,
That's not how we roll.
yeah, there's no like hard selling ever really in our whole process, especially on that call. It's more of actually an interview to make sure, one, you're ready to like really like step into your purpose and really like be empowered around your calling. And then two is that it's like that so we do what you love in the service of what we do. So it's like we need the people, like you need to be the person that we enjoy to be around. And now like if you're getting goosebumps and like this is like really resonating, most likely because like attracts alike, right?
So clients are
clients. And if you're like, holy shit, these people are amazing, then we probably think you're amazing too.
Yeah.
So next thing.
I love it. Let's hop on a call.
Yes, Jen, let's go. Awesome. So
right, so you have this transformational experience, right? We've set your program up in a way that it can continually bring in clients. It continually has this transformation. You're always able to optimize it. You're not like stuck in any way. You actually have more freedom because you're creating something that's just greater than yourself. Now, what's the process of being able to get clients there, right? We've talked about attraction, but really in order to get those 3 to 5 high paying clients every week, it's going to take some sort of system or process, right? It's like we're building the process and the machine, like the energetic machine here. And then the result is transformation. It's pretty beautiful. So explain what you're drawing here with all of your boxes.
Yes.
And what this powered client attraction pathway looks like, because it is a little bit different for everybody.
Yes.
And we say that because we're all different, right? We can't put someone in a cookie cutter. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I tried to be Chad for a long time. I'm not, right? So it's and I'm not you and you're not me, and everyone just holds our energy differently. We do things a little bit differently, and there's ways to discover how we move our energy and what following our inner authority really looks like, and really living in alignment and what that looks like. So there's different tools and stuff that we can use to be able to create this so that's really effective for you.
Yes. So we have a process that we call the Empower Client Attraction Pathway. The way it works is you really have 3 different areas. So, and 3 different types of potential clients, or like stages of where they're at, right? So if you have no clue who we are, right? Like you're like, you have, yeah. So say you're like brand new, you don't know who you are. You're just randomly seeing our stuff somewhere. Maybe like you somehow got into this group, you don't know who we are, and you're watching the live stream, or you're on here and you're like, I clicked on this link and now I'm here. Then you're probably like, you would be in like our cold market, right? Like you're not sure what we do, you don't know what the results, you don't even know like how we help. Now that you've gotten this far, you're probably warm now, but like when you first showed up to this, you're like, I don't know who these people are.
Cool music, bro. What am I giving to
weird hair, what's going on with him? Like they should be wearing suits or something, what the hell?
Probably not our cycle.
Probably not our people if you think we should be wearing suits. Okay, so but yeah, so cold, it's like I made a post the other day. It's like your potential client doesn't care, like they don't care about like your brand, they don't care about like who you are or what you do until they know you can help and that you actually care. And so we need to actually create that like the content to be able to attract people and show them how you actually can help. And that's our cold attraction process. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so the messaging is going to be a little bit differently and how you set this up. Ultimately, we all start from not knowing who we are, right? So it's then talking about, yeah, what can you do for me? What are those surface level problems? And I'll tell you, as coaches, this can be a challenge for us because we like to go deep quick, like, oh no, not the surface level stuff. It's actually these inner child wounds and these generational traumas that need to be removed from your body somatically. And
you're just jargoning them to death, right? You're just like spitting all this jargon at them, and they're like half asleep, or they fell on the ground because you just,
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know them.
Okay.
Like, thanks, just back up slowly. And like, if you think of it this way, is like, if you've ever seen somebody brand new in network marketing and they just like throw up all the crap onto you of like their business and all the thing, what if no one has no email list and no active Facebook group? Well,
Awesome. We all gotta start somewhere.
Start somewhere.
We totally started. I started up my Facebook, had 120 people on my page that were like people from high school and family I didn't really talk to and friends I didn't really talk to either.
Yeah, exactly. And so Warm, this is like somebody that maybe you've seen, they keep showing up, they keep on adding value, they've solved a basic problem for you, and now you've ended up in their world, and they're breaking down, you know, the limiting beliefs. So a lot of our clients, they have limiting beliefs that they need some sort of tech. So we tell stories like you know, our client Amber, she lost 70% of her clientele when she went from offline to online because she didn't know how to even do a Zoom call, right? And so she was making like 6 figures offline, lost 70% of her clients when you run out of content. Holly has a great strategy from Pinterest for coming up with great content.
Oh, I know. We can create content
all day.
Doesn't matter who you are.
Doesn't matter who you are. So Warm is like, what are the other objections that your clients have from like really going deep and committing to working with you? So other ones are maybe, so I'm just curious, like what's the people's limiting stuff? Like what do you feel like you're like, why you're not where you quite are yet? Well, just like, so here's a good one. Like, I don't know, have a content. Okay, cool. Well, who's somebody that has a great like content? They didn't know how to make content and now they are crushing it.
She took all of my content and formulated it into a formula.
Just say so and so, make up a name. I don't.
that.
No. Okay. So we had one client, she came in and she like actually didn't know how to, she didn't have any messaging, right? Rebel Nutrition on oh, that's you, Courtney. Yeah, I think we're following each other on TikTok now, so that's awesome. Vague content, learning to be tech. Well, you totally don't need it. No, I meant, oh, she has great content. No, this, what I'm saying is like, so I think it was Mohammed, or excuse me, I'm not gonna even try it. Anyways, they had a thing about they don't know how to create content. Well,
we actually do have a content challenge, and there's a whole, you know, if that's something that you want to dive deeper into, that may be a good place to go and start learning.
Indeed.
And it's
money
good to
objection.
see, as you're seeing this model of like what areas, like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do this? This is an area for you to focus on.
Sweet. So money. Okay, great. So we had one client, she actually started in a tent, had no, like she was living in a tent in the woods and had no money, right? And she was able to get somebody to loan her the money to then join our program. And she went on, and now I believe she's done $10,000 in a month. She was at least doing
She's doing between 5 and 10. She's
$5,000 to $10,000 a month.
She's definitely not in a tent, although she's moved into a place for a while, but they just got an RV, which is definitely a step up from the tent. And now they're choosing to be in the RV and travel and live that life of freedom for them.
Perfect.
So that's exciting.
Moo-R. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. So time, another one. Okay, so we had Kelly. She literally had no time. She was spending 80 to 90 hours a week on her business and was like not knowing how to make it work, right? And she would come to one call a week, and she was able to, and she would do a call with Holly. She did like, maybe she was like on maybe 10 calls throughout her whole program. Went from working 90 hours, 90 hours, making about $8,000 a month, to working about 30 hours a week, making $50,000 a month, and was barely active like in our program. So
she's got exactly the right tweaks that she needed.
Exactly.
I think Ryan would be another one too. So Ryan was a client in our program that he was working full time in a home am I saying that he was working in a home
Yep.
and he was working through recovery
Yep.
full time? So he actually started from complete scratch. He had no group. He had no nothing. He actually started for 500. I think he was at a $500 starting point for a client when he first got started, and he made it work in between his full-time job. He implemented the steps. He started putting together his empowered client traction process, and in between his full-time job, he's had like 20K months now.
Robert, let's just definitely jump on a call for sure, man.
Mhm.
All right, so now you get the idea of warm. Now let's talk about hot. Hot is it's getting people to raise their hand. Who has a big following, a large following on any platform here, like a Facebook group or TikTok or Instagram, but you're not getting the consistent clients that you are that you're wanting, right? So this is a good one for you, is like you need to be able to create content and a process to be able to take people from a follower to engager to conversations to book calls. That is like a process that's so important. Yes, Chad's rocking it on a 10K.
Congrats, man.
Hell yeah, dude. And so that having that process to be able to convert people from follower to client is so important. It's different on each platform. And so that process. So everybody have cold, warm, and hot and getting value from this? Which platform is the best? It really depends on where your perfect clients are.
Mhm.
Yep. And so that it depends on where they are, because some people are, it's going to be LinkedIn. Some people are going to be TikTok. Some people are going to be Facebook. Some people are going to be Instagram.
Yep, alignment is big.
Snapchat.
We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Snapchat, I'm like, mate,
Yeah,
maybe if you
Gary
work for-
Vee did it. I don't know. Very low conversion rate on the, well, you just need your empower client attraction pathway. So
something very predictable.
Yep.
At 10K, it's all about how do you create your predictable system so then you can start scaling them up.
Yep. All right. So who wants help creating their empowered client attraction pathway? Go Eston, if you want to drop the link, go click on that link, book your call with Nicole. And we can have you'll have a conversation with Nicole. She'll see if it's a good fit. If it's like you're ready to go and it's a good fit on both sides, then she'll schedule a call with me and we'll get on and we'll create a strategy. And what that strategy looks like is we're going to look at your vision. We're going to look at what you're doing now, and we're going to look at what's in the way of getting you to the vision. And then we're going to break down your income, or break those down into income, marketing, time, clients, and signature programs. So we're going to talk about that. Awesome.
So let's just keep going. I'm kind of taking a look at the time here, and this is like the fastest I feel like we just got started. This has been so fun. So of course, part of this enrollment process is making sure that your clients have an incredible experience, that are actually having an experience that they're taking away like, I am so glad that I did this, and they're referring other people to you. And it is like one of our biggest intentions in our program that nobody feels like a number, right? And we're making sure that we have the support structures in place so that everyone feels supported, right? So it's important that as people, we can have all of the marketing and the sales process down, that's great, but we got to have the transformation and the delivery and being our word on what we said we're going to deliver in this experience.
Yep.
So that's just as important.
And who's ever been on a group program where you feel like you're at a deli, you show up and you like get your ticket, or you raise your hand on Zoom, you got your ticket, and then now you're like waiting and you're not getting any value from any of the other conversations, and then you get your 2 minutes with the coach and they give you your 2 minutes and then you're like, okay, thanks, bye, or thanks, and then like you zone out for the rest of the time. Like that sucks. Like that's not like fun. We created frameworks, we've created frameworks so that you can really feel confident about delivering in a group. So I'm curious, who's wanted to go into group, but you're not really sure how to make it work?
And then as we're waiting, me, awesome. Years ago.
Perfect.
For even myself, yeah. Yeah, delivery is key in the experience.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So next is we're moving into what we call the 1, 2, 3s. Who would like a step-by-step process that so on a daily basis, you're like, I know what to do every day, no matter what. And like you know what to do every day. You're like, you show up and you're like, okay, this is what I need to do.
You do these consistent things every single day. It may
what up,
not be
David?
fun, it may not be sexy, but consistency pays, and
And then
consistency and discipline.
yes.
Just had a great conversation about that on our platform or on our podcast.
Yeah. So what we do is we take, it's like not just go do these things. It's how do you actually take those things and actually create them into a step-by-step process that you do on a daily basis that you get specific results. On top of that, we actually give you the ways to be most effective in really getting those things done. One of the things I'll give you an example, like especially if there's certain activities that you don't love to do. It's like, so I'll give you, I don't like cleaning. And so what we learned, I watched this video, a reel, right? Like I think it was like a Instagram reel, and it was this lady, and she would set a 20-minute timer, and her kitchen was a freaking mess, right? Like a slob, like looked like she threw dishes all, and they were stacked the side of which if it may or may not have been our kitchen at some time. But this is for real, right? Like, so she set a timer for 20 minutes and she cleaned her whole kitchen in 20 minutes. And what it taught me was, holy crap, even if I don't like, there's certain activities that I don't love to do, I can set a timer and it'll freaking, and like, I can go get those things done in like boom, 20 minutes.
20 minutes, I'm done.
So right now I actually do less. I do 10 or 15-minute ones to do our kitchen. And then I'll be like 90% done. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to keep going.
You get the kitchen, I get the toy room and the living room. And
yep. And then we rock it out.
It
Now we have a nanny that cleans way better than us. So, but that was life. Right? Yeah. So
this next piece is alignment, right? We talked about alignment in the beginning of, I wasn't aligned to what I'm really here for, right? I wasn't working with the right people. There's ways that we use our energy. There's ways that everyone is different in how they hear and make decisions with themselves. Some people, they just have this gut feeling, like, I know in my gut, like, this is the way, right? Or some people, like, I just feel it. Like, I can just feel with everything, this is the way. Or some people are like, I don't know what it is. It's just, I just know, let's go. And they just have this knowing, right? So everyone has these things that make them very unique. And how you show up in the world, how your energy runs, what your gifts are, like, and I'm talking about like your soul gifts, who you are. Some people have this gift with their words and how they are able to transform, like, just through the words that they speak, where other people just have this healing gift that just creating this, just being around people. It's nothing you have to do. It's just who you be and how you show up, right? So what are these gifts and how you move your energy? And let's create around that, because that's how you're going to really find this abundance, this fulfillment, this freedom. Otherwise, you're just going to grow a business and it's going to turn into a job. So this is a big piece, that creating this in alignment in a way that really works.
Yeah. And so this is the part of like really creating yourself. You want to create yourself as bulletproof, and like really like where there's going to be ups and downs to your business. And it's like, the more you can, for one, it's like, it's a game, right? Like, who plays their business like it's a game? And it's like, it's a game. Like, I'm out to win my game, and it's like fun. And if I don't, right, like that ups and downs, like the downs, so you're constantly like looking at like, okay, where did I grow? What, like every like down turn in your life and your business is a growth, right? It's a lesson. You could take it that way. And then everything that works, then you get to like take, if you're learning from the ups and the downs, then you will never, you can't quit. You're like, you can't fail, right? There's no failure if you're constantly learning from the ups and the downs, right? So one of the things how can I show up my bubbly personality on person? There's obviously, so Krista, I'm guessing there's some sort of block, and this is another thing I guess we can talk about real quick, is blind spots. There's something in the way. So like what you do.
We all have things in our life, right? We know what we know, meaning, I know that how to make tea-chino every morning. I don't drink coffee anymore, but it's my favorite drink is a tea-chino. I know how to make tea-chino. I know how to make the bed. I know how to create successful coaching businesses, right? Those are things that I know. We also have things that we know that we don't know. So I know that I don't know how to speak Russian. I know that I don't know how to fly a plane. Right? There's different things we know that we don't know. But then there's those things that we don't know that we don't know.
Yeah.
Those are the things.
And those are the things that get in the way of us showing up bubbly personality on social media, right? There's some sort of block, some sort of limitation, some sort of thing that needs to be cleared out of the way so that you can show up bubbly and powerful and all the things on social media.
Yep. So that's,
and that's why we need a coach. Exactly.
Exactly.
So the next one, so this is going to go a little bit longer than an hour. And
not too much.
And not too much. And if you're down to stay, we're down to keep it going.
And if you got to get going and you're like, where's that link again? You can either scroll up or press on if you're
SN, why don't you drop the link again?
Just so that we're in integrity on the hour.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So now this last piece, right? You've found your alignment. You were removing the blind spots of what this takes and what this looks like. Now it's really putting this all together and like, how do you start creating the leverage, right? We have this last because you have to set up all of the systems first. We got to test them out. We got to make sure that this is all working. And then you start creating the leverage, right? And the leverage is really, that gets you, go ahead.
Well, the one aspect of it, of the leverage we're going to actually talk about in this training is the team, right? So who actually wants to set up a team that can empower you to attract, enroll, and really like run your business so you can be in your genius and in your own alignment? Yes, team. All coaches need coaches. Awesome. All right. So we're going to do an assessment real quick, and we're going to talk about like really quick on the cold, warm, and how. So what you really want to do is really be able to have your person.
So what's the assessment? What's the outcome of this assessment?
The outcome of the assessment is to see what, like, are you ready, or in like what areas you need to focus you're building your team. And
because there's different parts of your team, right? So how do you know first if you're ready to have a team, if you're ready to build a team, and then what part of your team do you need? Where do you start, right? So a lot of times you're like, oh, we'll just get a VA. I actually want to, if we could go over that real quick and maybe go through, there's different options of
that's good.
Team that you could go through.
So some of you are like, team, are they going to sell us an agency package and like offer to do it for them?
No.
Hell no. Will not be doing that. We are done with our agency life. And so, but this is the thing there, and not for us, because it's not empowering to you. And this is why. Well, for us too. So it's both. It sucks for both of us. So who's ever thought about hiring an agency or like a done for you where they come in, they do funnels and ads and all of that stuff. I'm just curious on who's ever like looked into that or wanted to do that. So we've ran agencies and we've hired agencies. We've had some good experiences. We've had some not the most.
We've had some great learning experiences.
Great learning experiences, exactly. And so this is what we will say is that to get a good agency, you're looking at about $35,000 or $3,500 a month. That's USD. So if you live in somewhere else, and so that's without ad spend, right? You want to at least double to you at least want to spend that on ad spend on a monthly basis, if not double that, to really be able to get the most out of an agency. If not ideally, an ad agency, right? Now there's different.
There's social media managers and social media agencies that create content as well. They're also around that. I've actually seen Rachel Peterson is a friend of mine, and she was saying that for a really good social media management person is about $5,000 a month.
Holy crap. But the thing with that is like, it's really not even, there's no results. Like like having a social media manager, if you're ever pitched a social media manager, they're not results based. They are
doing the work.
Yeah, they're just doing the work based, and you don't know if they actually know how to market, or do they actually
Well,
just,
if you're paying the 5,000 range, they probably will have some strategy, but again, it's the
they probably have some strategy, but most social media managers out there are,
if you're paying around 1,000, 1,200,
yes,
don't
you're
have the
just
strategy.
going to get somebody that shows up and they're going to
Just gonna
post
do
some
work.
posts, and you don't even know if the strategy that they is going to be effective or do anything for you, right? And engagement and likes is not turning into clients. So the other thing is with an ad agency situation, is you have like one dude that gets assigned to your account and he has 12 other accounts. So if you're one of 12 people that he's working on, like, if you get amazing results, like, is that cool? Yeah, he gets a high five. But if you get bad results, like, oh, well, let's try something different. Like, it's not like
That, and his focus is on 12 other
12 people.
businesses. And so I don't know if you've ever tried to take a laser and focus at 12 different spots and see how good it goes.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So, and then the next type, so that's an ad agency. And then the next is like, they have some like VA lead gen services, which some of them are in different countries, and that's fine, or whatever. And this could be, 500, 1,000, this could be $2,000 a month, depending on their English and all of this. The challenge is what their job is. And I had a friend hire one of these, and he paid, I want to say it was $1,500 a month.
Not typical.
And they were booking tons of calls, which was cool. But when they showed up, they had no clue what he did. They had no clue how he could help them. It was basically like, let's get on a call and connect. Coffee chats. They book like a bunch of coffee chats, which if anybody's been on a coffee chat, how effective is that for getting clients? I would say 1 out of 10, it's like a 1 in the effectiveness, maybe 2 if you're really good at talking.
Yeah.
And so I highly don't recommend that option. So plus the other thing is if say you get somebody and it does work, right? And then that person goes, like, the person that's actually working on your team is like, oh, I'm doing really good. Like, we're doing good. I'm going to just go do this myself. Why am I working for this company making $3 an hour? I'm going to go run my own company.
Or $5 or $8,
$5,
whatever.
yeah, right? Like, yeah, but that's what they're getting paid, just so you know. Like, you might
they go through agencies, they take a cut.
Yeah. And so that's something to look at, right? And like, so the other thing is they don't know this cold, warm, hot stuff. They don't know about posting content to warm people and handle objections. Their job is, how can I get you on as many calls as possible? And what that does is it just causes
because it's more burnout. You're talking to people who aren't qualified and they're not ready. Yep. So that doesn't work.
Who's ever been on a call with like super unqualified people that like didn't know what you did, didn't like,
you're like, what am I doing? What is this?
Yes.
If you're a breath instructor like me, we go.
Yes. So what do you want to do? How do you want to actually run this? So what we recommend is hiring your dream team. Mm-hmm. What your dream team is, and we're going to break into, so we're going to do an assessment. Everybody down to do an assessment to see where you're at with the cold, warm, and hot?
And what this assessment will do, it'll really show you which part of the dream team to focus on first.
Exactly.
Right, because again, we're almost like building this machine up, right? And we're building this machine that's allowing you to scale from the very beginning. A lot of times we build and then we have to rebuild so that it can scale. So if we just do it from the very beginning, it can handle all of it.
Yep. So what you want to look at is your cold audience. So your audience building, your process for building an audience and like attracting people that like don't really know you, right? Because it's like part of the game. We need to build people that don't, like, it's funny, like people talk about attracting hot leads. Like, you don't really attract hot leads. You actually attract cold people that don't know who you are, and then you warm them. Like, you need the process to warm them. So what we're going to do is we're going to, okay, so number one is like no audience, no like leads. We'll call it like no leads.
You're just starting out. No conversations, no leads, no.
Yeah, that's good. And then
It's very quiet over on your social media page at the moment.
yeah, and drop in the comment. Let's just get real. When you admit it, it becomes real, and then we can solve
Solutions.
solutions. And then it's like a trickle. So a trickle is like, it's like
So when you say leads, I just want to make sure that it's clear for everybody. Leads being like prospects.
no, this is
calls,
just people.
Conversations.
This is
potential
just people like
clients.
following you. This is like maybe
Just
you
wanted
have
clarity.
yeah. I would say, Chad, you're probably one of the has one of the biggest followings here, and you have a trickle, so that's interesting, right? And the assessment is whatever it is.
So it's perfect because that's exactly okay. So if there's a trickle and you have a huge following, then where's I totally just ate a bug.
Protein
Breakdown.
Joe Biden would be proud.
That's not what I'm out for.
All right, trickle terms. Yeah, so that's the next one we'll talk about is the conversion. So I think you're probably more a flow or possibly a flood.
So if your audience, if you have a large audience.
Yeah. So this, yeah. So maybe I just so this is actually
Just clarity.
Yep.
Clarity is power. So this could even look like too, like maybe if you're on Facebook, you're not getting friend requests. People aren't growing, your audience isn't growing. You have a group, people aren't growing in your group. But it's ultimately cold people coming to you on a daily basis.
Yeah. So Chad, I would take a look at like, so your audience, like cold audience, like you're probably a flower of a flood. Just in that, but that doesn't mean that it actually
the warm
converts.
or the hot may be where
that's where it gets different.
Trickle.
So everybody like assess, like you write it down for yourself or put it in the chat, that would be great. And then we're going to talk about warm. So this is like people, so we're going to delete cold and we're going to put warm. Would this be conversations? No, this would be more warm. We'll call it leads. I think this would be a good place to actually have like leads. So these are people that are maybe that have gone through your content. Say they've watched like all of your videos. They've been to something like this. If you're here for an hour, you're now warm.
Congratulations.
Right? Congratulations. You are warm.
The warm box.
Yes. And so it's like, so no, and it works the same. So no warm leads, trickle, flow, and then flood. Thanks, Lorna. No engaged audience. Got it. So everybody assess the warm situation. Now we're going to do hot. Hot conversations.
But ultimately, we want all three of these areas to be touched on every day.
Yeah.
In some capacity.
Yeah. So now you want to rate yourself on the hot conversations, right? So like, this is like chat conversations. People are messaging, oh, I love your stuff. And maybe you're like, and then you're actually being able to convert them into book calls. And then you're having the call and maybe they're probably becoming, clients. trickle warm leads. That's the goal. No hot. Got it. So now we're going to do this. And you can see how it ends up, right? Clients. So now it's like, okay, so clients, you have a no clients, a trickle of clients, a flow of clients, little to no hot. I'm sold. Sign me up now. Let's go, Brittany.
Book a call.
Book that call. You got me thinking of a new line of host to do. Well, there you go. So now you got the trickle, you got the flow. What if you are not in front of the right audience? How do you get in front of them? Well, that's getting clear on your messaging. And so Holly says it really clearly, like, it's like when you can really nail your messaging to speak to and solve problems for the correct people, then they'll start being attracted. And then it might also be a platform thing, right?
Yeah, it's like this. It's when you know who it is that you're speaking to, and you do what you love in the service of people that love what you do. So you know who your people are, and you know what they love, and you know what their challenges are, and you know what drives them, and like you really get to know them, and you essentially are a few steps ahead of them. As you speak, if you start speaking their language, even if it's a whisper, your people are going to hear you because you're speaking their language, right? Or as opposed to a lot of people are like, hey, I do life coaching. Do you need life coaching? I can change your life, right? And you're like very broad, speaking to everybody.
Do you want help?
Screaming out to the rooftop.
Does anybody want help?
Nobody hears you.
Help.
Right. But if you're like, hey, I can work with your relationship so that you and your husband have your passion back again, right? They're like, you're speaking my language.
Yeah. So David, you need a process. So for one, figuring out what platform your perfect clients are. And then you need a process to be able to, add value, create conversations, whatever it is, to in those places where your perfect clients are. I don't know who your perfect client is, so I can't really tell you.
Or exactly what you do, but I would start with like your cold messaging, and your cold content would be more around, okay, so here's your people and this is what you do. So what's like the surface level thing that these people know that they need?
Yep.
Or that you can give some value, and start creating content around that, and just start connecting. If you're on Facebook, go to the groups that maybe they may be at, start engaging in conversations, becoming friends with people. If you're on Instagram, you start doing some reels or creating some content around, those cold message, very surface level things that you can solve so people start following you.
Yeah. So one of the things with that is like, if you're attracting broke people, it's because you're solving broke people problems. Right. Or you're just so vague in your messaging that you're attracting the lowest common denominator. No offense to broke people, but it's just like when you're vague, you attract kind of
everybody,
sort of everyone.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
There you go, Brittany.
Time to get specific.
You got to solve people that have money problems. So.
All right, so let's go into
Yes.
where they're at, and then what do they need on their team based on where they're at.
Yep. Okay. So if you are, if you don't have a cold audience, and you are needing to build that cold audience, what is solving broke people problems? Well, okay. So if you're helping people survive and get off of the couch or get out of bed, right? Like if your job is like to rip them out of the bed and like put down the drugs, or
even a not so dramatic thing is they're stressed at, let's see, they're stressed, they can't pay the rent, they're running out of food, the shortages are driving, like the inflation, they're completely, those are problems of people. Unfortunately, it's becoming a problem for, this is why coaches are so necessary. Those are broke people problems. The people that are like, oh, my phone broke, I need to go, save my money to get a brand new iPhone X Pro Max when they can't pay their rent. Broke people problems. you know, what are people who have money, their problems are a little, they're different. A lot of times people who have money, it's the fulfillment thing. It's, you know, it's a whole set
It's a
of,
stress thing.
it's a
Like
stress thing.
make
It's
a
a
bunch of, I
resiliency.
make a shit ton of money, but I'm so stressed out of my mind, right? Like
The
or
pressure.
maybe relationships with like a spouse. Like we make so much money, he works so much. Like, how do we balance the stuff? Those are like problems that people actually have, right? Yeah.
Those are some
Exactly.
higher level.
And so, Crystal, around the abusive relationship thing, so what I recommend is make so much money servicing people that have money, so then you can give to people that, like, because we all have hearts, right? We all have hearts to give and make a difference, and so you don't want to let these people that don't have money like suffer, and we can service people with money, get paid what we're worth, and then take a percentage of that money and then go give it to, like, if abusive
Maybe
relationships is your
finding
thing.
a woman's home
Yep.
to help them out with, or maybe even offering to go to a woman's home and a week during the, or a day during the week or something.
Yes.
And give to those people. I've actually ran a woman's home, so I really get the heart, like truly get the heart. And so I think that would be a great way to be able to do.
And
as well.
as like you're flying on a plane, you need to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, get yourself to the place of abundance, so then you can go give back to these different places.
Mhm.
All right, so cold. If you need a cold audience, we have something called a treasure hunter that we teach our phase 2 clients to go to hire. Also, what we call a content syndicator, somebody that can take your content and put it out onto different platforms. If you need warm, like you have a bunch of cold people, but you don't have the warm. It's the messenger or a setter. What a messenger and a setter does, they have conversations, they qualify people, they book calls, they give them trainings so that they can go through, so that they can see how you help people and all this stuff. And if you got a bunch of hot people, it's probably going to be a setter or a enroller. What an enroller is like the person that because I don't like the word closer, because it's like we're not closing anybody, we're enrolling them in their vision and then empowering them to take action on it. And so when we have our call, it's just really getting clear on your vision and then saying, hey, where do you would like to go from here? And then you can walk through the door. And that's the team, that's the dream team. Eventually, when you're making a good amount of money, you can do an operations manager, so you never have to do paperwork ever again. That's super awesome. Or like an executive assistant type deal. And then you could pretty much just show up and like make a difference and transform the world and be in your calling.
Yeah, and as clients grow, then on the back side and the delivery side of, maybe having some support coaches to make sure that all of your clients are supported as well.
And then so if you have abundance of clients, then you can start hiring support coaches. So and then you can just show up and when you want to show up. And so who wants support creating all this, if you're really being fully in your purpose and in your calling?
I know there's a couple of you guys that have already booked. I want to really acknowledge all of you today I want to acknowledge you guys for all of the things, all of the work that you're doing within yourself and the time that you took for yourself to be here. The fact that you're still here after an hour and 20 minutes speaks volumes. So I thank you for what you're out for in the world. We just dropped that link again. If you've seen all of this and you're like, all right, I need a program. I need to put this whole attraction piece together. I need this team thing. Let's book a call. Let's see where you're at and see if we can help you or not.
Yeah.
So I value you. You got anything else?
And it's not just it's just not all of it, because you might be like, oh, I'm good at this, and this, but like that one part, holy crap, I need support with that. Yeah. And so if you just need one of it or all of it, it doesn't matter. Let's roll. Click that link and let's go.
Awesome. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much, my friends. Bye for now.
Where do we find that? Oh, sorry.